Travis Wingoodsell. Another one of those nights. Couldn't sleep. And why? Remember the video I did where I said if I get a dream about picking up and leaving? Yep. So here we go, Mormons. Here we go, those who are watching my video. I found out of my way. Before I talk about my dreams, YouTube on all mornings of mornings at 1:30 in the morning now. Presented this old General Conference talk by Ezra Taft Benson from General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ. Ezra Taft Benson. This was the one I was wondering. I wonder when the pivot changed away from welfare to abandoning the Mormons, and this was it. This conference, that's the talk titled "Prepare for the Days of Tribulation," and I'm listening to it with a whole new paradigm that I have now that I've done the research, and oh my God, he talks about the welfare meeting that they had that morning, and then he just condemns the Mormons and says we're going back to the basics, we're teaching you guys to be self-reliant for the days of tribulation. And he talks of a sickness. He talks of grocery stores being empty, and he says Mormons cannot blame themselves. Or no, Mormons should blame themselves. Mormons should blame themselves. The church will not bail you out. There it is, right there. That's why the church is not opening their storehouses like they did in World War II with the creation of Welfare Square. The church condemns us and will not lift a finger, not raise a penny to bail us out on this rainy day. Benson, prepare for the days of tribulation. That's the YouTube video. Unbelievable. Of all days of days when I needed to find that video, there it is. That's why the church is not helping us. That's why the church has abandoned us. That's why they've closed. They blame us. That's why the church did not prepare. That's why they're being hypocritical. The Hippocratic Oath is what doctors are supposed to use. It's just unbelievable the hatred that they have for mankind and have abandoned their own people, just like the devil does not support his own. So, oh, look at that, 154. Good. Excellent. So I'm getting people's attention. Good. Because the one that I thought was going to get attention did not get attention. And it should be more than 154, but let me get into my video manager. Unbelievable. Yep, 194. Holy crap. and we've got 2 people now that put a thumbs down. They did not watch that other video where I rip you guys a new one. Mormons. Oh, man. And yeah, the Trump eclipsed May 4th. I told you nobody was going to care about it. Nobody would remember it. Okay. Excellent. Okay, got people's attention. But yeah, the coronavirus fast Sunday. The church isn't lifting a finger to help any of us. And yet, Nelson has the audacity to get on YouTube and demand money from the members who have no job, who have no source of income anymore. We are banned from going out. They say, oh, unless you have a job. Who has a job anymore? Nobody has a job anymore unless you work for the grocery stores. But there's no food to be stocked, so they don't need employees. Plus they've got the self-scanners. At the beginning of the new year, our Smiths, a Kroger division, added more self-scanners. So yeah, they don't need employees anymore. But yeah, there it is. Various Book of Mormon Armageddon scenarios. Only 35. Unbelievable. Nobody knows about this, guys. So just the few of us are aware of it. Alright, so where was the one about the dream? Certain corruption, nobody has feelings, but left out. Defiant, shakes down Mormons, right to rule, earth will be wasted. Is that the... I can't remember which one was the dream. I think it was the scenarios. Yeah, it must have been. Well, that was where I was talking about a dream. And only 35. And it was 2 days ago, Friday. Okay. Man. And nobody wants to see the financial crimes and how they work and operate. Everybody's more, I got them with the right title. Interesting. Alright, so I don't know how this video is going to do, but there was another Book of Mormon scenario I don't know if I covered, but that's of the Mulekites. The Mulekites were there in Jerusalem at the attack by Babylon, and they're the ones who left, survived that Holocaust, and escaped to the New World, to Zarahemla, according to the Book of Mormon, where the people of Mosiah, who were of Nephi, had to flee again from their capital city of Nephi, because the Lamanites had reached them and was warring with them and caused them to flee that land as well. So again, you have Nephi as Jerusalem to the Mulekites, as they both get attacked and have to flee, and they both end up in Zarahemla. And this is the man. This involves I guess it sort of involves the one scenario of when I talked about Jacob being placed on the throne of America as king, and then tribal divisions, which would be the governors of the states. Jacob, king. Man, really won't sleep, man. Therefore, Jacob, seeing that they're enemies, they did call him Jacob. He became king. You guys do know your Hebrew, right? Jacob means usurper, and so as Jacob, who became Israel, usurped the birthright blessing from Esau, we have here in the Book of Mormon the coding of Jacob being placed on the government of America, usurping the Constitution, usurping the three branches of government. And that is Trump. Okay, let's see, 9. Now this secret combination, which had brought so great iniquity upon the people, did gather themselves together, and did place at their head a man whom they did call Jacob, usurper, and they did call him their king. Therefore he became a king over this wicked band, and he was one of the chiefest who was given his voice against the prophets who testified of Jesus. So yes, the blasphemer of the beast in John's Revelation, with his MAGA hat as the sign of the beast in the forehead. And it came to pass that there were not so strong in number as the tribes of the people, the states of the people, who were united together, save it were their leaders did establish their laws, everyone according to his tribe, state. Nevertheless, they were enemies. Yeah, Democrat versus Republican states were fighting over respirators. Notwithstanding, they were not a righteous people. Yet they were united in the hatred of those who had entered into a covenant to destroy the government. And so, yeah, they're all united against Trump because Trump abandoned us, refusing to give respirators, refusing to give assistance, refusing this, refusing that, calling it a hoax, allowing it to spread. And now we are the number one nation in leading with the most cases, even over China, where it originated. And you hear people talking on the news, oh, we need to implement fascism, we need to lock them up, separate them from their families, we need to punish them. People need to change their lives, they've got to sacrifice. And that's exactly what Benson was saying. We're going back to the basics. You Mormons are wicked. You're living extravagant lifestyles beyond your means. Oh, okay. I'm only able to get a McDonald's job flipping burgers, and that's living beyond my means. Even the person I talked with last week said that people who make less than minimum wage, and those on Social Security, they make less than minimum wage. She was arguing with me, saying, hey, they have only themselves to blame for not being prepared. And I ripped her a new one. My hell. The audacity of the rich who claim they're poor. Oh, we're so struggling. I am prepared, so the poor can be prepared. There's lots of words I want to say right now, and I could probably get away with it because important. Due to COVID-19, we will conduct fewer human reviews to protect the health of our extended workforce. I could probably get away with it now, but I will still refrain. Alright, and so what happens is that natural disasters occur. What is it? It's in 10, isn't it? Nope, right here in 8. Tempest, earthquakes, fires, whirlwinds, and physical upheavals attest the crucifixion of Christ. You do understand that the cross is the symbol of the eternal life of the Egyptians, which is the Ankh, which is the ascension of Christ, of Osiris. And his son is to come and replace him, which is why, after this darkness covers the land for 3 days, many people are destroyed. And then everybody says, oh, if we'd only listened to Travis, who had told us about the signs of the second coming, who warned us not to put a king on the throne, I won the lawsuit. I beat the church. I won. They had nothing on me, and coronavirus stepped in at the last minute, just in time to rescue the church. My request for relief was everything. I won. I got the church guilty of crimes. And so then we get to Bountiful. That's where the people gather after all of this. And Bountiful does not mean the literal Bountiful north of us here, where I believe that's where Nelson lives, isn't it? Let me see if I can find that video real quick. Russell and Nelson house for sale. Did she pull it? Am I not getting the right title? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay. Oh, bummer. Okay. Yeah, I won't waste your time anymore then. But yeah, I saw a woman who had done a video showing Nelson's home, and I'm pretty sure it was in Bountiful. But Irene, I know for sure, lives in Bountiful, right by the temple, as I've told you about my mom, and now Irene, and then Irene's daughter and myself, and then Kimberly calling Irene on my behalf. This destruction, pay attention to the other video I did about Trump eclipsed May 4th, 2020. Listen to this from the Book of Mormon, 3rd Nephi 9:9. And behold, that great city Jacobugath, which was inhabited by the people of King Jacob, Washington, D.C., have I caused to be burned with fire because of their sins and their wickedness, which was above all the wickedness of the whole earth, because of their secret murders and combinations. For it was they that did destroy the peace of my people and the government of the land. Therefore I did cause them to be burned, to destroy them from before my face, that the blood of the prophets and the saints should not come up upon me, unto me, any more against them. Wow. But, yeah, even the Zarahemlites here in Utah are also destroyed. See, behold, that great city Zarahemla have I burned with fire, and the inhabitants thereof. Just like Washington, D.C. Utah and Washington, D.C. experienced the exact same fate. Wow. And so bountiful is the promised land, the city of where New Jerusalem and Zion were to be built. Joseph Smith originally was going to make it Kirtland, Ohio. Then they got chased out of Kirtland, Ohio. Then they went to Illinois. Or was it? No, it was... Illinois first, because that was 1840 when he gave his speech saying that he was going to build Zion and New Jerusalem in southern Illinois. And then they got chased out of there, and then they went to Missouri. And it was going to be Independence, Missouri, with Adam-on-Diamond. And Adam-on-Diamond is what 3rd Nephi chapter 11 is all about. And 3rd Nephi chapter 11, you have Jesus Christ, who represents the last days Messiah, who is a man. Even though they showed Jesus coming from the clouds, he doesn't remain king on the earth. The kingdom is not for him. He only gives authority to Nephi. And then Numbers chapter 12, Chris, if you're watching, that's the Numbers chapter you're referring to. And it's not just a general thing of speaking to people in dreams. It's a specific, I choose my leader in a dream, and speak unto him in dreams. And it's referring to Moses, how Moses was chosen in a dream. Thus the burning bush was a dream. It was not a real experience of a bush that was burning. And so you have Jesus as a mythical spiritual entity giving authority to Nephi, who is the son of Nephi. Now, if you don't understand the significance of father and son being named the same, I've done that video already too. And so then we got Nephi being asked, show me the records of the people. They've just been destroyed. Where are the records of the people that have been destroyed? And he brings the records, and then this Jesus entity says, where's Samuel the Lamanite? Who talked about the signs that were coming? Who talked about resurrecting the dead from coronavirus? Healing the sick, giving life to the people with the Jerusalem and Zion. Holy crap. Utah and Washington, D.C. are going to be destroyed by fire. Bruce R. McConkie says nuclear holocaust. Bruce R. McConkie did not know about Kim Jong-un, who's just resumed testing again now that we're into spring. But my goodness, to strike Utah with Washington, D.C., how's that going to happen? Well, anyway, if that's not the case. I did do the video where I said, is it possible that the mountains could blow their tops? It won't happen that way in DC. There's no mountains to explode with volcanic eruption. It would be a different format. Yeah, it would be like the Washington DC volcano with Tommy Lee Jones in Los Angeles. Yeah, and so then Nephi makes sure that he has recorded all of the works of Samuel the Lamanite. And then he reigns on the throne for peace. And it's only 400 years in the Book of Mormon rather than 1,000 years of peace. Oh, man. And so that's the scenario that I was being instructed on this morning. And so at 10:50 I wrote down dream of moving. But I can't remember. I should have wrote it down and I didn't. I just put dream of moving. And then I put at 11:54. See, I could not sleep last night. Everything was all about the moving, fleeing, leaving Utah to go to the Promised Land during annihilation. This one, however, was before, but there's no woman with me. I'll get to Karen in a minute. I was at some kind of school or science lab as a woman who reminded me a lot of the Strawberry Blonde. I'm forgetting her name now. Rebecca. She referred to be called Becky or Becca. Can't remember now. Her name was Rebecca because it was the same as Isaac's wife, and she came to me to say, okay, we're going to put communications with each other because we weren't able to be together after this one time, and so we designated a secret hole in the desk to leave notes to each other. And she was going to come and put in a note that asking me if I was going to go through leaving with her to escape and flee the area before the destruction comes. And I'm smelling skunk. Despite the new construction out west, we still have skunks coming east, scavenging for food as their homelands are being destroyed. And I got distracted by other people, other women even, who were getting my attention, wanting me to do things on computers and cleaning. Somebody had used bleach to clean and destroyed the lab, and that's when I realized, oh crap, I forgot to leave a note. Went in there, the woman had left a couple other notes saying, hey, I came, you didn't reply, are you still going through with this? This is my last note. If you don't reply, then I'm going alone. And so I put in my note saying, yeah, I'll go with you. I'm sorry I missed you. And I had forgotten my code name that I was supposed to remember, and I ended up putting in the wrong code name. But that was interesting. For Karen, I had done a video way back in 2017, which is over 22,000 now, I think. Let me bring it up. Wow, yeah, so I click on that one video, Trials and Tribulations, or not Trial, yeah, was it Trials and Tribulations? Ezra Taft Ben, I had to put in that name. But now I'm getting all sorts of general conference talks about the end of the world. Bruce R. McConkie's The Coming Tests and Trials and Glory. Let's see, Travis, Wayne Goodsell, going to Missouri. Day back to Missouri. Yeah, LDS dates for the return to Independence, Missouri. This was when I was just realizing that the signs in the heavens were more than just lunar eclipses predicting the deaths of prophets of the church. And I was going, holy crap, how do we fix this? And I'm using the original font on my Movie Maker, and it's way down at the bottom. So yeah, I've figured out how to fix a lot of that and establish my 22,000 exactly as of this morning. And 76 people don't like it, so you can see the thumbs down on that one. But yeah, this was my most successful video because I put it's the picture of this path of the total solar eclipse, and I show the sign in the heavens from my stellarium, and then I show it from my old stellarium, which was boring, and I show other signs from the stellarium, of the old stellarium. There I reveal September 23rd sign from Revelation 12, the sign of the woman giving birth, and that's it. And so I would have revealed it while we were talking. I didn't put it here unless it's the one switch over. Nope, that's Virgo. Okay. That could be it. Maybe. It's the old one. I don't have the... But I was guessing, and this video was done specifically because Karen. I had just gotten married to Karen in October 1st, 2016, and so the month after, the very month after, on the 4th of November 2016, Fox 13 News Utah is doing their regular news thing. I have the news on in our bedroom at the time, and Karen is cleaning in the kitchen or making lunch or something, and they then talk about August 2017, total solar eclipse. I'm now standing in front of the TV and freaking out. I'm going, holy crap. And I knew that was the sign to look for. Even though we'd had 3 apostles die during the blood moon tetrad. But like I said, I knew about that. That's no big deal. Because Faust and Hinckley died under blood moons. And so this, however, I was like, holy crap, and that changed my life forever and destroyed my marriage. And here we are in Armageddon in the final days before destruction. And Karen forced me to find the date for leaving for Missouri. And so I was just guessing that it had to be within the solar eclipse and the birth of the man-child, because I didn't fully understand the signs yet, and so I was trying to figure it all out, and did that one, and then it was after that video that I then realized, oh no, we've still got a long ways to go. We've got the sign of the dragon, and the sign of the tail of the dragon when Monson dies, and, which also was under lunar eclipse. And so, yeah, I was just overwhelmed as I was trying to publish videos about what I was learning. What was his name? The football coach who died. I did a video, or I did a publication, a book publication about the signs in the heavens for not Larry Miller, Lavelle, Coach Lavelle. I found that one and did one for him, hoping to get people's attention with his popularity, but didn't do as well. But my heavens, let's see if any of you are up. So 194, 195. Okay, one of you are up. And at the length of this video, we're gonna be whatever. So anyway, with Karen, lately this year, I contacted her. Well, it was actually the end of last year. I was impressed to call her and say, Karen, we've been divorced for a couple of years. I let her know that if there's a national emergency, some kind of destruction, something, you'll know. Head out to the one location, and I designated a location where she just has to walk to that location, and I will drive by and pick her up. And she says, well, how are you going to get a vehicle to pick me up? And I told her again of what I had told her back with that video as to what we were going to do, because she was freaking out. She did not want to walk. I'm not walking over those mountains. So yeah, I told her again that that's what I plan, and to wait for me there. And then with I again reminded her earlier this year. Said, Karen, remember when I told you about our plans to meet and I'll pick you up? Yeah. I'm just reminding you. But we then had an argument a couple of weeks. It was right after my birthday, because she wanted to talk with me for my birthday, but she has chosen the church and the prophets over the Book of Mormon, as I tried to instill in her mind that she had to choose between them, because the Book of Mormon testifies against the church, against the prophets of the church here under Brigham Young, and she refused to accept the Book of Mormon. I mean, she's got her own copy of the Book of Mormon. She says she loves the Book of Mormon and she would never part with it, and it will always be her favorite. And yet I tried to tell her, this is what the Book of Mormon teaches us about who to watch out for, about which church is the great and abominable church, and you have to do a checklist. And she refused to do the checklist and insisted, the church is true, the church is true, the church is true, I'm not leaving the church. And so she got furious, and we had to hang up. As she will never abandon the church for the Book of Mormon. She'd made her choice, and so she's going to turn into a pillar of the the Salt Sea, Great Salt Lake, pillar of salt, which again was destroyed by fire. Sodom was destroyed by fire, as Lot's wife turned back. And I don't have daughters who will drug me with alcohol, of which my DNA says I cannot tolerate alcohol to the least amount. I will be throwing it up and not tolerating it at all, apparently. And so yeah, no incest for me. Yeah, she did fulfill Delilah with Samson. Yeah, I will not be picking her up, apparently. If I do, it will be a miracle that she even remembered and is there in time. But that seems to be the scenario that we are looking for. I have been told that I have to hope that I survive the destruction, and that those of us who survive will be led. So let me get to that one for you. Like Moses. Section 107. Nope, that's not it. 103. Yeah. And so, verse 14 in 103, section 103. Nevertheless, if they pollute their inheritances, they shall be thrown down. And Mormons polluted their inheritances. They put their trust in the church, which is corrupt. It's the apostate church, the great and abominable church. For I will not spare them if they pollute their inheritances. Behold, I say unto you, the redemption of Zion must needs come by power. And so that's what I realized, is that I had stood up to Pharaoh at the courts. I had won my case. I had proven that I am to receive the request for relief of the church, the whole church, either as the keys or every asset of the church. And I was working on making the assets for the entry of default and final judgment motion on the 31st, Tuesday. And then I found out that the courts, they're closed. All cases are postponed until May 1st, the anniversary of the Illuminati. And so I went through my depression period there, and then had the various Book of Mormon Armageddon scenarios dream, or understanding that I would be told in a dream. And then here we are. Therefore I will raise up unto my people, the Mormons. This is talking to Joseph Smith. He's talking about the Latter-day Saints of the apostate church. I will raise up a Mormon from the apostate church, a man who shall lead the Mormons like as Moses led the children of Israel. You must be led out of bondage by power with an stretched out arm. As your fathers were led at the first, even so shall the redemption of Zion be. And like the Book of Mormon indicates, destruction first. And so we've already had the earthquake as the warning, and so now we wait to find out what that destruction is going to be in the form of. The Book of Mormon says fire. How that fire is going to occur, whether it's fire from the heavens, from volcanoes, or, oh man, Dante's Peak. An awesome movie. Pierce Brosnan, best Bond ever. I'm sorry, Daniel Craig, he's done a great job at redefining the role, but no, Pierce is the original perfection. Even over Sean Connery. I know he was the original, he set the standard, but Pierce Brosnan developed the character better. Sean Connery just played the role from the beginning, but Pierce Brosnan brought the character to life. So, and again, if you argue with me, it's futile, because it's just opinion-based. So why are you arguing over this? But anyway, so there we go. That's what's keeping me up all night, this night, is that I'm being told it's coming, this is how it's going to happen. And so if you're going to ignore me, if I put the wrong title that doesn't catch your attention, like I said, coronavirus is the virus that swept through Egypt right before on Passover, because that was, the 9th of April is Passover. It's early. And so don't be surprised if the destruction happens before Passover. Easter is after the 9th. It's that Sunday, the 12th, Easter Sunday. Palm Sunday, where Jesus, in the gospel narratives, enters Jerusalem and everybody lays out the palms as he's riding the donkey or the ass or whatever. I think it's either a Jenny ass or a jackass. And then there's the prophecy that is the other sex. And so that was interesting, that they messed up on the gospel narratives to not conform with the prophecy. Because Matthew was all about the prophecies. Thus was fulfilled the words of Isaiah, the words of so-and-so, the words of the prophet, etc. But with that Palm Sunday, they messed up. They put the wrong animal that he was riding on. So, and no, I'm not going to ride an animal. I don't know how to ride an animal. I don't have anything to strap to an animal. Like I said in that various Book of Mormon scenarios, I don't have a camel. And so, here we go, guys. Prepare yourselves. There's going to be destruction. Whether it's an assault by a weapon of some kind or a natural disaster, it's coming. And I don't know when. That's the thing. I don't know when. I wasn't informed in my dreams of a time. I was just informed of the manner in which it's going to take place, which is what I suspected all along, but could never establish. And so you can doubt me, but doubt me at your own risk, because I'm never wrong. It's amazing how accurate the signs in the heavens are. And like I said, I was searching for the signs and I couldn't find it. But I found Trump when I was searching. May 4th, Trump is eclipsed. So maybe that's the date. Well, it doesn't. Utah is first. See, verse 3 is Utah. Zarahemla, the great city, have I burned with fire, and the inhabitants thereof. That's where the Mulekites land, and where Mosiah meets the Mulekites, after they also get chased out of their city, and they become one united city. Then we have Jacobugath, which is Washington, D.C., with King Jacob. That one is on verse 9. So 6 verses away. And it doesn't mean that that's the order, because remember, the Smiths knew of the plot, but this is an exceptional detail about what the plans are. And so I don't know if they actually got that detailed of information from William Morgan about the plot, because we do know of Albert Pike and his letter to the Illuminati Scottish Rites leader. Is it Giuseppe Mazzini? Telling him about the plan for the 3 wars, and they're general. They're not specific details, though there is some specifics in there of the manner in which it would take place and the results from those wars. But we're in that final one. So, my hell. Just when you think it couldn't get worse, it's going to get worse. So I hope you survive. I hope we can survive to go build the city of Zion. I hope I survive. I've got the records. So, alrighty. My God. God have mercy on all of us. An hour. None of you are listening. Oh, crap. An MD, shame on you. You're not listening to my videos.